you're someone who is meant to be binge watched all at once. So you've been putting in a lot of work, almost like building up your repertoire. You know what I mean? Like, think about like a Netflix or something where all the episodes get made for a season and then it all drops at one time and people can binge watch it, compared to back in the day where, there's one episode that drops and then people have to wait like a week for the next one. And you've been creating, you've been dropping, but it's like nobody's been watching. But I feel like the encouragement here is like you're kind of more like a Netflix show, or you're more, I don't know, I don't want to call this, well, what I want to say is your type of content is something that is kind of meant to hit somebody all at once. And so the minute they discover you, like let's say the minute you discover a brand new show and there's already like 2 seasons and you just now came onto the game and you're suddenly hooked from episode 1, and you get the luxury of watching all 2 seasons at once, where other people had to watch it, maybe they did have to watch it 1 week at a time if they dropped it like that. So I feel like your content, whatever you're creating, that you're not seeing any traction on right now, it's because once you have a super deep catalog of content or whatever you're creating, maybe it's art pieces, maybe it's music, maybe once you have a couple albums, then suddenly one of your songs goes viral and now people are like, who is this? And then they're going back all the way back in the day, like 2 years ago, where they're like, oh my gosh, all your music's been popping. And now it's like, when nobody can question or second guess you, because like you have the proof, you've been putting in the work, it's been many years, and so you won't be taken off your rocker because of the sudden explosion of energy coming towards you and fame and whatnot. So I would kind of say that this moment is where you're getting your footing, your grounding, like you know who you are, you know what you're creating, and you're really not having to deal with any noise. Like, think about if you had let's just think if you are a producer of a TV show, because I might be talking to somebody who is maybe about to be a producer of a TV show. Hey y'all, hook me up somehow, I don't know, but welcome, you're meant to be here. And matter of fact, this is day number 4 of 31 days of insights and guidance. So this is not going to be long, y'all. But imagine like you are releasing something a little bit at a time, or one episode at a time, and it's getting into the hands of a lot of people, and a lot of people who really don't got no credentials to be talking about what you got going on. But then they're like giving you negative reviews. People are yapping in the comments. People are saying this song sucks, blah, blah, blah. Like, it hasn't even really reached the right audience for real. And all those factors can kind of go into determining if you're ready, if you keep on going. If it can hurt your reputation, what? No. Reputation before you even really get started. Now, why did I say it can hurt your reputation? Well, because if somebody's yapping or maybe giving feedback, I'm not even gonna say yapping, because I can say feedback can be good, right? But constantly getting noise and feedback too soon can kind of slow you down and make you not want to keep going and repeat the process when you might still be in development, and that's fine. But just the outside energy can slow you down and keep you from, fulfilling your passion. When it's kind of quiet, you're like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and make all 10 episodes. I'm going to go ahead and make the whole album. And I don't really have anybody going against what I do. And I know it sounds kind of weird, but that's really not the point of this message. The point is you are constantly working, uploading, creating. You're a creator, right? And it's not getting any traction. Nobody's seeing it. Nobody's hearing it. But I want to encourage you to keep going, because it is, because you're somebody who is supposed to, maybe you're really ahead, right? You're somebody who's supposed to go ahead and get it all done. And then at the appointed time, I guess you didn't really know, but maybe at God and the universe's appointed time, they say, hey, okay, the release date is going to be, 6 months from now, where suddenly it's quote unquote released to the public, or suddenly, a couple right people watches the whole thing and everything snowballs and there's no going back from there. You probably don't know the appointed time if we're talking about the spiritual type of lens, but I want you to keep going and keep on building up your catalog, because one day it will all pay off. There's nothing that you're doing that's in vain. everything that you put in, you will get out, because that's just the natural law of what cause and effect, giving and receiving. It will come back to you tenfold. So trust that it's not in vain. You're not doing this for no reason, and you're meant to be binge watched. You're meant to be like, oh, I'm dropping all 10 of these episodes at once, and then people are going to watch you all at once, and it's going to be it's going to be amazing. I know you're ready. I know you're ready for the day, and it's just a different type of vibe when you are, even almost like a movie, when it's like, hey, I'm working on this thing. I've been working on it for 2 years, and the movie doesn't drop until 2027. And it's like, why are you telling me about it right now then? I hate that when movies like, releasing a year and a half from now. It's like, well, don't tell me about it. That's not the point, though. The point is, like, as a creator, when you're doing all that background work and you're just working, and it's like, well, nobody sees the movie until it drops, but you've been working on the movie. Actresses and actors be working on the movie, and nobody's seeing it, right? Nobody even knows it's being made for real. All that background work. All these episodes kind of getting uploaded to Netflix with, I don't really know how it works. I'm pretty sure some shows still drop one episode at a time, and then some shows are like, no, here's season 3. You know what I mean? All at once. And then it's up to the people to determine if they want to watch the whole season 3 in 2 days, or if they want to pace themselves. But regardless, it's all available. And so I want you to be okay with having your content or whatever you're creating be something more like a exclusive, it's all quote unquote dropping in a year from now. I'm still working on it, of course, but don't get discouraged or don't lose your motivation because you're not working within the framework of, I drop something, it gets traction, it gets feedback, I drop the next one. I don't want you to get caught up in the fact that maybe the dynamic in which you're creating is not a sitcom on regular TV. You know what I mean? How deep are those anyway? That's an interesting point. TV shows like back in the day, like I don't know if anybody watches TV anymore, but it could just be like those simple shows on a regular station where it's not that deep of a show, and so it can just be released every week, and it's still a good show, yeah, sure, but the production time is way less. Is it? I don't know. I'm just speculating. But it'll help me feel better to think about it like this. But like the really good shows, the one that have a budget, the ones that are like requires this, that, and the third, and it takes a lot of people at the table to create the episode, or whoever they're partnered with, like they're partnered with the HBO, they're partnered with the Netflix, they're partnered with, and I don't want to call these names out if you have any beef with them, but let's just say you're partnered with a platform that requires you to go ahead and submit all your episodes, and we'll determine the release date, or it's all going to get dropped at once as a seasonal thing, or like I'm dropping the whole season instead of, make sure you have episode 1 by this date and then episode 2, and we'll release it incrementally. It's like, no, you're meant to release everything at once. And I'm not saying you're releasing everything all at once, because you are actually constantly releasing, but I feel like energetically, spiritually, there's a release date for you where it's suddenly visible to everybody. And that's what I want to say. And then people are going to binge watch you, and suddenly everybody's going to know your name, and suddenly everybody's going to know your voice. Suddenly they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this song went TikTok famous, and now I'm going to go see her on Spotify and look at all her albums. I'm listening to the whole album. That really just happened to me. Not to me, but that's something I did. I was like, oh my gosh, all her songs are so good. How have I not heard of her before? Now I'm a fan, and I never would not be a fan. You know what I mean? So you're meant to be binged. Maybe it's not binge watched. Maybe it's binge listened to. Maybe it's binge purchased. If you sell things, and now suddenly everybody wants every product that you have, and now that Christmas time is coming up, it is December. I'm just trying to think of examples. And let's say you've been working on your merch for the whole year, and suddenly now that it's December, people are looking for exactly what you got to offer, and you have so much merchandise. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going crazy over here. How have I not seen you before? Or I just heard of this person. I just heard of you. And where have I been? Maybe the other thing is, maybe you are released already, and there's some people who just haven't heard of you yet. You know, I can think of this show called Severance where, and I just want to give this example, then I'll wrap it up, where I heard that the season 2 was coming. Like, I knew the season 2 was coming like the next week, right? And I was like, okay, well, let me watch Severance. And so I basically watched, was it season 1 and 2? I can't remember, but I watched however many that was already up and ready to be watched. And I was like, wow, this show is great. And so all I had to do was wait like a couple more days by the time I finished to get the next season. But then I read and I was like, oh my gosh, y'all had to wait. First of all, they had to wait for those episodes week by week, I do believe. And the fact is, they had to wait 2 years between, I'm going to say season 1 and season 2. And by they, I mean the original fans of Severance. So they had to wait 2 whole years before the next season released. And I came in right when the next season was going to release, like the next week. And I didn't even have to wait for it. I don't know where I'm going with that. It's just the fact that some people are going to get into the game really, really late, but also right on time for them. You know what I mean? So you might be like, no, I've been popping. But there's some people who just ain't a part of your reality yet, and they're not ready for you yet. You're ahead of the game, or, you know, you've been for a select audience, and then suddenly a brand new audience comes in and listens to you and like, oh my gosh, what? You're so amazing. I've been lost in the sauce. I had no idea you existed, type of thing. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it could be either or. Either people are just late to your party, and that's okay, or you're actually still in the process of building up your catalog for whatever seasons to come. And the season's going to be a great season. It's going to be a successful season. It's going to be so abundant, and so well worth the wait, and so well worth the timing. Keep on going, keep your repetition, keep building up your catalog. I want to use this as encouragement. If you're still listening, thank you so much. And if this resonates, leave it down in the comments, hit that like and subscribe button, and, you know, keep building up your catalog. Do not grow weary in good doing. Know that everything that you have planted and watered will come to fruition, and it will be abundant and beautiful and amazing. So I can't wait. If there's something that you want to shout yourself out in the comments, like, oh, I'm working on this, that, and the third, leave it down in the comments. I'll definitely support you and see if I'm late to your party. Hey, all right. So that being said, this is day number 4 of 31 Days of Insight and Divine Guidance. I hope this helped, and I hope you got something from it. Let me know. I will see y'all in the next video.